welcome back to another episode of Tandem Fandom. I'm Nick.
I'm Courtney.
And welcome to our brand new show, The Hot Tag.
Our new weekly series where we tag you in on all the hot news of pro wrestling around the globe.
And we got a lot of great things that we want to cover today. A lot of really cool things have been happening lately in the world of professional wrestling, the business that we love.
That's right, brothers. And the biggest news happening right now, in case you haven't seen the hashtags, the tweets, the everything, it's Impact Wrestling's final deletion.
I had to prepare myself for the final deletion of Brother Nero.
As you can see, it's really affected everybody.
On a deep, personal level. But now that it's over, we can really talk about it in depth.
Yes. So, very becoming.
Absolutely. I've submitted to the wisdom of the broken Matt Hardy.
So, in case you've been living under a rock, there's been this feud between Matt and Jeff Hardy in TNA Impact Wrestling, and Matt was broken.
Yeah, that's right. You know, this isn't the first time we've seen Matt and Jeff in a brother versus brother feud. I want to say this might be the third time it's happened. Very possibly. I mean, I know they had their big feud where, you know, Jeff was world champion. I believe Matt was ECW champion, and they were feuding, and Matt was like, "I burned your house down, Jeff!" Which was... like, really? Really?
I mean, you know, 20 years of wrestling together, it's gonna happen a couple times.
Yeah, you know.
Somebody's gonna write it.
Exactly. You know, the greatest tag teams always feud. They've got the fact that they're brothers, grew up together, all that kind of stuff. But
the fact that it is such good writing fodder, Matt actually wrote this angle.
I just want to say, Matt... in my opinion, this is the best work he has done his entire career. I love everything about the broken Matt Hardy because, to me, Matt has always been most successful when he's been able to inject his personality into a character.
Yes, and as we all know, he is a British barber.
From Fleet Street, possibly. I don't know. When I first saw him, I was like, why is he Sweeney Hardy now? What exactly is going on? Although it is a rather becoming look, if I do say so. But I think it's interesting because in a weird way, I see a lot of Matt Hardy version 1 in the broken Matt character because it's this, he believes everything that he's doing. It's ridiculous. We're aware that it's ridiculous.
Right.
But it works. I think it works anyway. I think it works for him.
And it worked even more because Jeff believed it was ridiculous.
Yes, I think that makes it even better that Jeff plays this 100% straight man character where he's... I think it was after their match on Impact and, you know, Matt's in the wheelchair and Jeff comes out and he's like... What, Matt? What now?
What now? What are we doing?
Really? So I thought that was great, how Jeff is just so sick of Matt's bullshit. I mean, of course, this, you know, really started to kick off with all these vignettes and these videos with the contract signing where it all began, Brother Nero.
And where it began, it shall end.
And he sounds kind of South African at points.
Sometimes when he's talking about submissions.
This sounds a little like Bray Wyatt at some points. Like, it's fascinating. I really wish I could sit down with Matt and be like, please, tell me your method here. But it was interesting. It led us to the final deletion. They did a lot of, like, pre-screenings for, you know, wrestling media personality, for... yeah, legends in the business.
Reaction videos, ultimately.
What do you feel your initial reaction was when you began to be exposed to the Brother Nero saga?
I would. I was like, what? Really? This is like a main focus.
For me, it was like a car wreck. I looked at it and I was like, what the hell is going on? I can't look away. I was intrigued, and it drew me in more and more, and you know, you start checking out what Matt's doing on social media.
That's what really ended up drawing me into it, was looking at Matt's Twitter and seeing just how deep into this character he was, and how he was actually typing OVAH. It's Ova.
And this angle is over.
And it was over. Like, it's just the self-awareness of the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah.
But just really selling it.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean,
how he actually had aerial assault robots in the end.
Which was amazing, is drones. Vanguard 1.
Vanguard 1.
And just... you know, I give my son the gift of final deletion of Brother Nero. It was...
He uses his son's birthday candle. He said this candle would burn until, like, a vigil until he deleted Jeff Hardy. And I'm like, this is a birthday candle from, like, the Dollar Tree. It's not going to last 5 minutes.
No. But, you know, I think it's the commitment to this story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I like it. And there's been a big range of reactions to it. You know, some positive, some negative. Jim Cornette is probably dead right now.
He probably had a heart attack.
Yeah, his heart exploded at the, you know, the drones and Vanguard 1
and the tree spot.
Yeah, and Matt destroying Jeff's lawn tattoos with his mower.
Riding the mower.
So,
oh, man.
You know, but, you know, my reaction with this is, I actually think it was pretty positive because, and you viewers, ask yourselves this, what was happening 6 weeks ago on Raw? Some people could probably answer that question easily. Some people might be able to pull 1 or 2 things from it. Some people might not remember anything at all. But it seems like everybody remembers at least big bullet points from this story. Brother Nero, Deletion, Over. You know,
forever.
Yeah, all these, you know, broken Matt Hardy.
This is one of those things that people are going to remember from the end of the Hardys' careers.
Yeah, definitely.
If they ever end.
This is something that I think, for better or for worse, will be a big defining moment for their career.
Yeah, because where does it go now?
That's, I think, my biggest question is...
Now that Jeff has been deleted, because, spoilers, Matt won.
Yes, and he is the sole proprietor of the Hardy brand that he built. I'm not sure whose accent is worse, mine or Matt's.
That's about on par.
But, you know, to me... This has been a positive because it's created a ton of buzz, it's created a ton of attention, it's gone viral. It's a lot like, in my opinion, I think when something in pro wrestling goes viral and gains attention, it doesn't matter if it's good, it doesn't matter if it's bad, it's gaining eyeballs.
You're going to draw somebody in, you know, out of those 100, 1,000 eyeballs, somebody's going to get drawn into the brand.
Yeah, prime example, Joey Ryan's penis suplexing people. That went viral and it became huge, and Joey has, you know, made t-shirts off of it. He's gotten a lot of buzz and just...
He's gotten a sponsorship. It's now the YouPornplex.
Excuse me, Joey. But, you know, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. You know, Jim Cornette thought that was the worst thing in the world. Not that we care what Jim Cornette thinks. You know what, Jim? Kiss my ass. I said it, Jim. What you gonna do?
So, you know, he like searches wrestling on YouTube just so he can bitch about things.
I hope he watches this. That's right. I never should have been allowed to buy a ticket, you old bastard.
No publicity is bad publicity.
That's right. And that's the thing. And really, that's why Jim does the reactions that he does. He's working. He's getting attention. If he's all like, I love everything about wrestling today, then nobody's going to give a shit what he's got to say. But if he's like, kill and tar and feather all these bastards, then everybody's going to tune into what, you know, at least if they hate or love it.
Everybody's going to watch the circus show.
Yeah, but I digress. Like I was saying, I think this is positive because it creates buzz, it creates eyeballs. Was it the best match we've ever seen? Absolutely not. It was barely a match.
Yeah,
at the end, anyway.
Jeff really botched the tree spot.
Yeah. Thought he landed straight on his neck on the ladder.
I think he did. It was his neck or the back of his head. That dent was not from his body.
No. But
there were fireworks spots, Roman candles, there was a dilapidated boat.
Willow coming out of the lake like Jason, which was amazing. That was probably my favorite part of the whole thing. Well, the oh shit, where Matt drops the accent completely. But the Willow spot was probably my favorite part of it.
Yeah, it made all of the jump cuts tolerable because you realized that they really were just kind of editing it together.
Yeah.
And because they were able to do the Willow spot because I'm sure Jeff was like, give me a second.
Yeah, yeah, but it was good in that regard. I think it's also good because with this particular story, with this particular character of the broken Matt Hardy, I hope it encourages wrestlers, writers, agents, bookers, producers, whatever.
Take a chance.
Yeah, think outside of the box. The Hardy Boys did this crazy shit for months, which culminated in barely a match with fireworks and a dilapidated boat. It's Senor Benjamin. So if they can do that, and yes, they are the Hardy Boys. They have they're huge names in the business that we love, but take a chance, and that's my hope that people can look at this. Take it for what it is, that it was entertaining, it created buzz. What can we do with this? Not this, but what can we do too? That's my hope.
I'm interested to see what the ratings actually were for Impact this week, because this is one of the first times that we've sat down and watched a modern episode of TNA Impact, the whole thing through, because we wanted to see how they worked it in, like was it in your face throughout the whole card, but it wasn't. They kind of sprinkled the few promos in and they saved it until the very end. But before everything, it was a really good card. There were really good matches. There was a female street fight,
which was excellent.
There was the Extreme X.
Not Destination X. That's the pay-per-view. Ultimate X.
The Ultimate X thing for the belt. It was different. It was good, and I was watching. I was entertained, and I would not have watched this entire episode if it weren't for the final deletion.
So I think that's the strength of this. Because we watched it in two ways. We watched this director's cut by itself, which had all the promo material and the match itself together, and it was all one piece. And then we watched the episode of Impact. And like you said, they did a great job of sprinkling it through the show, making the show kind of built around this thing that brought the buzz in.
Yeah.
So, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me a lot of, stay tuned at our second hour as we have the Macho Man Randy Savage. Like, it struck me a lot of classic WCW, this don't change that channel, stick with us, big stuff is coming. That's the impression I got.
Every little vignette said still to come. Like, it never said main event, end of the night, it said still to come, so you kept watching.
And as we're going along through our War with Words series, that is the one thing that WCW has been very, very consistent with, is generating and keeping hype to get you to the second hour and to keep you tuned in.
Right.
And I feel like with this day and age, the way we consume media, the way we watch, television programming, it's very important to kind of do that again. Keeping people from picking up their smartphone and scrolling through Twitter or...
Yeah, the dirt sheets.
Yeah, or keeping people from just, whatever, I'll just watch it on Hulu later, or I'll just DVR. It encourages people to stay engaged with the program. So.
Right, and I'm glad I did, because I was really impressed.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've sat down and watched TNA, but it's different now. It's better.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where this goes. I would really enjoy to see the character of Broken Matt have a larger role in terms of TNA's programming. Yeah. Maybe he targets TNA for Deletion, or another superstar for Deletion, like...
He beat Jeff, so now he's on top of the world, and he's gonna take over everything.
Forever! You know, that would kind of be my hope, because I think that's the best way to keep the buzz going, is capitalize off of the character. Of course, Jeff can make a return later down the line, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
If that's even the end. Maybe it's not. Maybe Jeff will rise from the ashes and Brother Nero will return. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I will say this much, though. I'm very intrigued to see where it goes.
Yeah, I really hope that they do build off of this, whether it's, you know, Matt going off and conquering the world, or him going back to Matt and just being all like, I did it.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, what's up?
Like, just beating Jeff, flip the switch back, and maybe he's Big Money Matt again, because he owns the brand.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. So,
or if you know, Jeff becomes like a more dark Willow, and then it's just broken
these two
Matt
entities
Hardy and Dark Willow just constantly clashing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could stand Willow's voice and Broken Matt's voice.
Broken Matt's voice is over. Yeah, so it's really interesting, and there was.
I really hope that this just isn't it.
Me too. I do want more from this in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I want more because it's just so intriguing.
Yeah, and people are gonna watch next week, and if you don't satisfy the people who are coming back for more because of it, then you're going to lose even more of your audience.
Definitely.
A potential new audience.
So, you know, I think we've said pretty much all that needs to be said regarding that. So, and on that regard, I'm just going to...
He's fixed!
I'm cured! So, you know, another... you know, kind of thing that we're seeing with Impact that we've really attached ourselves to is Decay.
All things come to Decay.
Decay. They're fantastic.
They really are.
I'm really enjoying what they bring to the show.
I saw some of Crazy Steve stuff before Decay formed, and I really liked it. And it really suits him, like this new faction. Tag team?
Faction.
I feel like they could be a faction, especially with them trying to bring in Brahm, but oh no, Rosemary was making out with Brahm backstage. What? Like, making out.
I love Brahm. I've loved Brahm since his debut. I love the uniqueness that he is, where he's this kind of weird blend of like Mick Foley and Wade Barrett and a little bit of like Cactus Jack and
Gerard Butler.
I think he is Gerard Butler in disguise. I'm not convinced that he's not. But, you know, so I've always been a fan of Brahm's work. I think he's excellent. And the potential pairing with Decay it just gets me excited because I'm like, oh man, because I prefer him heel.
Yeah. I
think with that like hardcore character, it works better as a heel, especially where you have a guy like Lashley who's like, I'm this dominator, destroyer type of deal.
I'm bigger than you.
Yeah, so send the crazy British bastard in there with a bat with nails in it, and be like, what are you gonna do now? You're gonna punch your way out of this? You know, so I prefer Brahm heel. My hope is that he allies with Decay.
But not sure if that's going to happen, because with this week's episode, Abyss and Crazy Steve were upset.
Yeah, it was...
and, like, all the stuff I've seen before, I was like, I thought they were in on this, because she's been licking his face for weeks.
And everybody enjoys seeing a face get licked now and again. At least we do. So I'm interested to see where that's going to go, you know, going into Destination X. They're probably going to continue to expound upon this.
Right.
I thought it was a little odd that Brahm was not on the show other than that video. Yeah. I thought that was a little weird. I would have liked to have seen maybe a backstage after that match. But with the Broken Matt Jeff thing, that was kind of more the focus that they wanted to do. I've also really enjoyed Eli Drake. Dummy. Yeah. Yeah. Really enjoy kind of his shtick, even though he keeps falling off the ropes like every time he steps up on them. It's hysterical. But I really enjoy him. I liked the promo work that he did with James Storm last week. I thought that was really strong, really good stuff. I'm encouraged in the direction that TNA is currently going in, and that's something I don't feel like I've been able to comfortably say for a while, but they drew me back into their programming to at least be encouraged to regularly watch their programming, because I would kind of keep up or check some stuff out now and again, but I'm really encouraged by the way the direction their show's going in. They have a lot of potential, and I just hope for consistency, because more wrestling is better for everyone.
Yes.
It's just
more
better.
brands.
Yeah, it's better for the talent. It's better for fans. It's better. We don't really try and play favorites on this show. We love wrestling in all forms, and we want wrestling to succeed in all forms.
Yes.
So, WWE's had some interesting things going on as of late, but what are you gonna do next week? What are you planning on? You got any big plans? I mean, we're just coming out of the 4th of July, but you got any big plans next week?
I was thinking about taking a little bit of time off and kind of relax after the holiday and beat up John Cena.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking maybe I'd take a little time off from work, catch on some reading, do a little yard work, beat up John Cena.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan.
That, to me, if you're unfamiliar, the Club and John Cena, this has been some of the absolute best programming WWE has put forth, at least with a John Cena storyline that I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, and they're really letting Anderson, Gallows, and AJ kind of just be themselves.
Yeah.
We're seeing shades of the Bullet Club in Japan, just the shades of them on Vine and Twitter. And
it's pretty amazing.
Just that good comedy. Carl Anderson mentioning his hot Asian wife.
I popped hard when he mentions the hot Asian wife. He does
have a hot Asian wife, but if you follow him on social media, you get the running joke, and it is so funny. Yeah,
the thing I like about it the most, and WWE, and from what I understand, Impact to a degree is the same way. There's a lot of criticism on scripting, and everybody has to read these lines from a script, and everything's approved. And I don't know if they scripted or not, but it at least feels like when the Club is out there,
right,
they're just being themselves.
Yeah, the Gallows hitting a ski every now and then.
Yeah, they may have like a general framework of, this is kind of what we're going to talk about, this is kind of what we're going to say, but it doesn't feel like any of them are reading lines. Granted, they're excellent talents, they know how to handle themselves, but it's just been so fun, and the just hashtag beat up John Cena. What are you going to, well, I'm going to wrap some Christmas presents with my hot Asian wife, and I'm going to beat up John Cena. Like, it's...
for Halloween, I'm going to dress up like Bushwhacker Luke, I'm going to lick your face, and I'm going to beat up John Cena.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and it goes... You know what, though? We're getting ahead of... I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves, and I just wasn't quite as prepared for this segment as I thought I was going to be. We did a lot of talking.
That's all right. Why don't you apologize to the fans?
YouTube, man, I'm sorry.
See, YouTube, he's sorry.
I'm sorry, guys.
He's sorry.
I'm sorry. It just every time, I'm like, just let them come out every week, talk smack on this microphone.
Yeah, just talk some smack and leave. Like, they don't even have to have a match. It's just been so good.
Yeah, I do want to say, I enjoy Enzo and Cass. I don't necessarily like that they've been inserted into this, not because they don't fit or aren't deserving, but I'm just enjoying the dynamic of the 3-on-1, and because John can talk, and Enzo and Cass can talk, but I feel like it's such a different type of talk, with Enzo and the rhymes and how they constantly tie everything together, like cheese, or that's the only one that came to mind was when they kept doing the different cheeses.
Shut up. How you doing?
Yeah. Gouda. How you doing? You know, so that's kind of my only thing of you're going to get Enzo and Cass who have a very distinct way of talking, which feels a little bit more characterish and like of an entertainment type style, where what AJ and the club and John are doing is a little bit more
organic.
Organic and realistic, I guess would be the word I'm looking for. So, I mean, you got to give somebody to John because they can't just be kicking his ass every week in and out. I mean, they could, but you know, I understand evening the odds, but
Enzo and Cass are really the top, just baby face team, and who else would you give John Cena?
Yeah, that's true. You know, and I suppose if anybody can go toe to toe with the club on the microphone, Enzo and Cass are your best options.
Yeah.
Outside of the New Day, who were embroiled with the Wyatts.
Who saw that coming?
At first, I was not excited about this at all. I was like, it's so weird because of the clash of, you know, character and personality. But as we've gone along,
I, for one, loved it from the get-go. And I was like, this is going to be something. It's getting there.
It is, and I feel a lot better about it now. I'm excited about it now because initially I was not. I was like, I don't know how this is going to play out. What sold it was when New Day dressed as the Wyatts and Big E had the glove of unicorn horns. I was like, all right, this is gonna work. Just because, you know, Bray's so serious and the other two don't talk much, if at all.
Right.
And then New Day is so great. They're so entertaining, but I've been pleasantly surprised, which I always love when that happens in wrestling.
And what's going to happen with Xavier?
Ooh. So we are coming up on a pretty big deal in professional wrestling with the Cruiserweight Classic.
Right. The brackets are going to be made this week.
Yeah, so by the time this goes up, they may be out already. So.
Yeah, they're announcing them at 9 o'clock.
You know, the reports of how the Cruiserweight Classic has been handled is pretty interesting. It's pretty different in terms of what WWE has done. They treated it very much like a shoot in terms of the weight.
Right.
Wrestlers were required to make weight.
Yep.
Extra wrestlers were brought in as insurance in case somebody didn't. So it's like, you don't make weight, you're out. This guy's in. So that's way different. At the end of the matches, it's been reported that the winners are announced in a MMA or boxing style where both guys are brought to the center of the ring. The method of victory is announced, and the guy has his hand raised. So
very formal.
Yeah, this is very different. They had the parade where they introduced all the competitors, cool. And this is really, really interesting. And Triple H said this is its own brand. We very much thought like this will just be kind of like an NXT thing, but it doesn't seem that way.
Like, and I wonder, there's so many, like, how long is the tournament gonna last?
That's what I'm interested to see. I believe it's supposed to end sometime in late August or early September, I think.
No, that's not very long at all.
Yeah, but it's just intriguing, and to see what the general purpose of the tournament is. I mean, I guess it's really test the waters. Can we do this as a regular thing? Yeah. You know, is a cruiserweight division viable?
I think it's more of a showcase than Tough Enough is, because you can't really. Tough Enough, it's open to everybody. Yeah. Everybody. I think this is kind of their Tough Enough for international established independent wrestlers.
I think this is the best.
Because they announced their country of origin during the parade, so it was really giving them strong identities. Yeah. I liked it.
Well, and I think this is really the sort of blueprint that Tough Enough should have followed at least for like a season or two, you know, because if you take, hey, I was a former football player, I'm a fitness model, and you are training them to be wrestlers and putting them through physical competitions and things like that, you're not going to see this person for probably a year in the ring. Yeah. If they are just like, you know, duck to water, pick it up like no problem. But you could have gone around the country and got the top independent wrestlers, put them in Tough Enough, have them put on matches, and then the fans decide who they liked. And that's how it could go.
Well, could you have done that 5-10 years ago?
No, absolutely not. Now you can.
Now you
Back
can.
then, no.
And I think that's what the Cruiserweight Classic is.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's different. I love what they're doing with it. I want to see more.
There's plenty of backstage interviews. There's plenty of little promos. Get to know so and so. Like, they've done a lot of stuff.
It's really impressive. I love the approach. And my hope is that this is something that can grow. I'm sure quite a few of these guys are going to be signed just based off the initial, like you said, the backstage interviews and the parade and having knowledge of some of the competitors like Cedric Alexander, who is fantastic, Kota Ibushi, who's fantastic, you know, among Zack Sabre Jr. So there's legit talent already there. Mm-hmm. But it's exciting, and I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, it's fresh, it's new, it's exciting, shiny.
Oh, so good. So excited. Well, guys, I think that pretty much...
I want to say one more thing.
Oh, excuse me.
We're hitting all the big guys. I want to shout out to the little guys. What Culture Pro Wrestling.
Hey!
The brand new promotion that's started within the past couple months. Just put on a really good match. They just uploaded it to YouTube on their channel. It's Jay Lethal, current Ring of Honor champion, against El Ligero. And he actually put a #1 contendership on the line for his ROH belt. It's a really good match. You should go watch it.
Yeah, check it out. What Culture does excellent videos involving pro wrestling. They do great content. And the fact that they have their own promotion now is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really excited for those guys. We're big fans of them.
Based out of Britain.
Yes. So, anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay.
If you want to see Cody Rhodes, go to his Twitter. He is booking everything everywhere. Holy jeez.
It's really exciting. Well, guys, thank you for joining us in this debut episode. This one's a little bit longer than we intend them to be, but we wanted to make sure we covered kind of a big, broad base, and there was a lot of really big things to talk about lately. You know, as always, like we say on the rest of our videos, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Your feedback is hands down what we enjoy the most about seeing, of doing this show.
Yep, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
As we always say here on Tandem Fandom, if you're gonna be a fan,
bring a brother Nero.